Okay, in this video this week, let's talk about upright and rounded swings a little bit more, making sure that each of you is going in the correct direction to make the game a blast for you to play and to see that consistency that you're looking for. As all of you know, that taking lessons from me, I'm a huge fan of Jim Hardy, a great instructor from Houston who really pioneered this work of having upright swings or rounded swings, and that all golf swings fall into one of those two categories. Right here I'm setting up a very upright to the ball as I step in. As you can see, my posture very upright as I walk in, looking down the target line, and as I take my grip and get ready, still staying very upright in my address position. The weight, if anything, the weight would be favoring my heels here. Weight back in here a little bit more, if anything, but it's pretty balanced. But overall you can see not a lot of knee flex, a little, but very upright with the upper body, which will then allow me to make this club work on much more of an upright plane like this, more like a Jack Nicklaus or a Bubba Watson would do. As I said in here, like I said, if anything, the weight's toward the heels slightly. It's going to be probably under the arches of my feet, but certainly not towards the toes when I swing upright. If it's more in the heels, as I swing up, I can reach the club out in front of me, allowing the toe to go up in the air and keeping the club well out in front of my body, not allowing it to go in here whatsoever behind me. Really the hallmark of an upright swing, the club staying up there in front, arms out in front of the body, and then the club as it comes down stays in front. Once again, I stayed very tall through impact, and up the club goes again, very high up into the finish, and I'm finishing straight up and down in my finish position here. I'm not leaning to the right like you would see more in a rounded swing. So Ian Poulter, Tom Watson, Jack Nicklaus, lots of great players swinging more upright, keeping that club in front of their body the entire swing. On the other hand, if you're a player that likes to swing more around your body, you'll probably go in to get into the golf shot already bent forward. You have more of a feeling of being down this way as you step into the ball. Your arms are more bent. Feels more natural to be down here looking at the target from a more bent forward position. The weight naturally moves more to the toes, or out toward the toes anyway. And then as you take your setup position, much more over the ball. So very much more over this way. Hands are lower at address, weight more toward the toes, and this then allows the club to go more around me this way. So for tennis players, baseball players, a lot of players just have the feeling that this is easier to set up in this type of a swing position. And then, like I said, allow the club to go on a lower rounded plane, staying bent forward, and then just as long as you stay in your posture coming down and turn, this swing becomes very, very repeatable, very easy to execute day in and day out. When you're working on deciding which swing you like best, you probably know if you're an avid golfer, but maybe you're not as avid a golfer. You're learning and trying to make some improvements in your game. One way to find that out as well is to take your club and hold it like you see I'm holding it here, stand upright and simply turn. And if it feels more natural to turn more level, so the shoulders are turning more this way than they are sort of steep, standing tall will feel very natural for you, and just turning level feels easy. And it feels like that fits the way your body wants to move. And what's funny about this is that when you come down, one of the faults that you would see in a rounded player actually help you when you have an upright swing. So from here, when you start down, if you actually push your hips forward this way and you raise up out of your posture, that actually helps an upright player to get the golf club down to the ball naturally, where it ruins the swing of a player that's trying to swing around their body. For the player that starts more bent forward and swing around their body, they do need to stay in posture, turning the shoulders on a steeper angle. And then as you come through, you must stay bent forward. It's an absolute must that you stay in posture. This back heel stays on the ground longer. And then you're turning through at the back shoulder coming around, and you're staying in your posture through impact. Any raising up out of this posture at all will drop the club in behind the ball and hit fat and thin shots and pushes and hooks or shots that take off this way and curve that way. Just depends on where the club face is when you strike the ball. So hopefully you can see how different these swings are, and that there isn't just one swing to be learned out there. There's no magical swing that we all need to learn. But there is a swing for each of us that is our own swing that we can find that will work very well to help us be consistent players. It all starts with deciding and understanding which category your swing is in, upright or rounded, and then making sure that your fundamentals and your understanding fits with that swing, and that will allow you to make the kind of progress you want to make and play the consistent golf that we all want to play.